last half century, the proportion of humans living in cities has dramatically risen from around a third to just over half. As cities continue to rise in popularity, demand for basic services such as transportation increases. The automobile has been the dominant method of inner city transportation for more cities across the globe, resulting in increased congestion and air pollution. As the demand for transportation rises, so does the number of vehicles, which leads to greater competition for publicly available parking spaces. The use of land for parking spaces can be inefficient and it is expensive both in terms of real and opportunity cost. Addressing these issues requires cities to more effectively manage their public on-street parking spaces and road network infrastructure. And we all know that a key component of parking is a vacant space to park in. Various studies conducted over the last century covering cities in North America, such as New York, Detroit, and Los Angeles, as well as European cities such as Freiburg and Barcelona, concluded that any given time, approximately 30% of inner city traffic is looking for a vacant parking space. It is likely that competition for parking spaces will only increase. Cruising, or the way drivers search for the desired parking space, for parking will undoubtedly also impact levels of congestion, contributing directly to air quality problems in cities. So, this case study will talk about the relevance of smart parking in these issues. First, we will know about the members. Mr. Lawrence Alarin, Mr. Stephen Dave Ayuda. Next is Mr. Gomersindo Bayo Jr. And mine as well, Jessa Mae Gica. And Miss Maria Regina Mamites. And lastly, Mr. Richard Teofilo. So, the things that we need to know about this case study are the topics that we are about to tackle, like what is smart parking, what is the concept behind smart parking, how useful is smart parking, especially today, and what are the problems with manual and smart parking systems, what are the benefits of smart parking, and lastly, why is smart parking notable in the Internet of Things?
So, what are the problems? According to the research, around 30% of the vehicles on the roads of major cities are manually searching for vacant parking lots, and it takes around 7.8 minutes to find a suitable parking lot. Corresponding to fuel wastage and air pollution, traffic congestion also affects the fuel consumption rate of a vehicle. Smart parking systems can be a sound solution to the reduction of traffic congestion, which in turn will reduce air pollution and the health risks associated with air pollution. The statistics mention telling about the severe wastage of time and the initiation of traffic congestion around the big cities. It also causes fuel wastage, driver frustration, and air pollution. As a result, the emission of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, volatile organic compounds, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides increases, which results in air pollution. Another study led by researcher of the Harvard School of Public Health estimates that traffic congestions will have an economic impact of $100 billion by 2020. Aside from the environmental problems started, there are other problems to tackle. First, guard. Since traditional parking systems are completely manual and required someone to open up and close boom barrier at all times, they are completely reliant on guards. The most common problems with manual parking systems is high dependence on guards. The guards are in charge of manually entering information, handling payments, updating availability status, and managing the overall operations of the parking lot. Next, the security. The room for error is prone to exceed with higher traffic. Deterrent to security. With manual parking management systems, vehicle details are not properly recorded, hence there is a lack of proper security measures for the parking space. The error in recording vehicle details is primarily because the entries are made by guards. So, most common problems with manual parking systems. First is the increased labor cost. Capital expenditures are increased unnecessarily as a result of money spent on the labor that performs repetitive manual operations that can be easily and efficiently automated. In addition, the labor cost involved in the maintenance of a manual parking system is more since all operations have done to manually. Next is labor cost is reading, writing, and entering data takes a lot of time and effort. So paper-based record system. Due to manual data collection and entry required by manual parking systems, paper-based records are maintained. Consequently, it is difficult to sort through such a large amount of data. Managers of parking lots must spend hours looking through files for those carrying precise information. So paper-based, these kinds of paper records cause a slew of issues. So drawbacks of smart sensors. 1. They consume a lot of power. 2. Wider mechanical dimensions and higher current drain make it difficult to design a thin surface mount sensor. The casing has to accommodate a big emitter, a receiver, and a larger battery pack. 3. They won't operate well under a cover plate. It works great for overhead sensors in garage, but in the case of ground-mounted parking sensors, there is a risk of mechanical damage to the ultrasonic sensing element. So the emitter should have view of the object. So some disadvantages of smart parking. There is a greater construction cost per space. So the cost of having a sound parking working parking management system is usually high. This is because of the various components that go into making the system work. Components such as statistical features, automated ticketing, statistical reports, and many others make it all expensive. Some organizations may not be able to afford such. Next is regular maintenance.
Thank you to the previous presenter. Now I'm going to share about a little knowledge about the history of smart parking. The earliest parking spaces that were known to humans were pull ties, which were used to park horses way back in the 1850s. However, there were other more significant turning points that also indirectly contributed to the advancement of smart parking. For instance, the German inventor Karl Benz patent motorwagen was granted a patent in 1886, which is the year the modern automobile was born. In France, the US widespread production of automobiles had already begun in the 1900s. We love to say that parking has not changed in 100 years until smart parking, finding parking space has always been based on pure luck. Smart parking was not yet established before Internet of Things, and parking has not evolved much over the past 100 years, especially way back before. Will I find a pool to tie my horse up to? Will I find parking spot to park my car? But then smart parking came along and revolutionized parking completely. It started out with simple ground sensors and moved to sophisticated overhead sensors that eliminated the element of luck. Smart parking was, as we know, it has evolved into ingenious sensory guidance systems, leading drivers effortlessly to the nearest available parking spot, while saving time and money, improving quality of life, and reducing emissions substantially. Pretty impressive route, not you say? We've come a long way and more confident there is a lot more to come. But first, let's look back at the for on-street parking. It started in the early 1930s in Oklahoma City, United States. For on-street parking, the parking meter was invented and introduced by Carl Mage to solve the haphazard traffic congestion problem. The installation of the parking meters didn't only solve the traffic problems but also created a new business revenue and a new cost for vehicle owners who wanted to park their cars downtown. For public off-street parking, the story is traced back to much earlier than on-street parking. In 1905, Garage Rue de Bonview built the very first automated parking garage in Paris, France. It was the multi-story car park site with an internal lift which moved the cars from one level to another. With the help of some car park attendants to drive and park the cars in available spaces, or today we call it valet parking. Garage Row de Ponto was not a fully automated parking garage, but many consider this garage to be first with the automated elements and therefore the forerunner of the automated parking system. As more people owned cars, parking became a problem, and cities were looking for a solution to park as many cars as possible on as little space as possible, especially for off-street parking when cars at that time were not weather resistant as today's, which preference would be indoor garage-based parking. Technically, it was a semi-automatic parking garage. No intelligent parking if there are no automobiles. Large American cities, including LA, Chicago, New York, and Cincinnati, saw the first appearance of automated parking systems (APS) around 1920s. On Chicago's Monroe Street in 1932, the paternoster system was implemented for the first time in Connecticut. While more technologically advanced APS appeared in Europe, Asia, and Central America during the 1990s, US interest in APS gradually decreased. The US developed an increasing number of APS between 1940 and 1950. With the approximate 100,000 automated parking spaces annually, Japan ever overtook the United States as the world's top producer of APS in the late 1990s. Especially in malls and retail complexes, the innovative parking sensor technology is really starting to take off in the early 2000s. In the early 2000s, the smart parking sensor technology is really starting to take off, especially in malls and shopping centers. Until today, remarkable innovations happen to the way we park our vehicles. It is also to cope with the ever-changing ways of technology and to address the issue of the climate crisis. The reason why smart parking was implemented. The first robotic garage is built in 2002 in Hoboken, New Jersey. Simultaneously, the use of GPS for smart parking solutions is mentioned in scientific research for the first time.
What is smart parking? Parking in populated areas is something irritating that may increase drivers' stress levels, affect their daily productivity, and dirty the environment. So we know how hard it is to find a better parking space in a busy moment. Yet, right now, as technology evolves, it also changes our way of living, and one example of that is smart parking. So let's uncover what is really meant by smart parking. SPS is an essential element of the transportation system in a smart city concept. In highly compact and densely populated sectors of urban areas, scarcity of parking space is a major problem. Let us discover what really is smart parking is. Smart parking is a system that, thanks to the Internet of Things and sensor technology, allows real-time data to be obtained about parking availability, both outside and inside. and regarding traffic and road conditions. Various devices and processes form the structure of smart parking, acting as parking space detectors. It is due to the deployment of sensors and/or cameras which record and process data and images to provide real-time traffic occupancy data for the area we are heading to. And I balik, balik. An IoT cloud-based system, on the other hand, allows these devices to be connected and the data to be centralized. The data are then analyzed using big data in order to calculate the availability on non-street parking spaces or spaces in public and private parking facilities. It can monitor and indicate parking IoT availability to the user via IoT applications. The system has three parts: on-field network, cloud platform, and user-side platform. The on-field network consists of vehicle detection sensors, which detect parking IoT occupancy. The on-field network refers to the tangible. The on-field network refers to the tangible tools or gadgets that are used in tracking the IoT occupancy in area. Then, the data from the sensors are transferred to the user-side platform via a cloud. The on-field network refers to the tangible tools or gadgets that are used in tracking the IoT occupancy of an area. Then, the data from the sensors are transferred to the user-side platform via a cloud platform. The cloud platform is the one that analyzes the big data coming from the on-field sensors and sends the information to the user in a readable manner. From the user-side platform, any user can easily see the parking IoT status of a particular parking area, and the user-side platform involves the users that are using the smart parking system. Another system uses a sensor fusion technique to fuse the data produced by the Around View Monitor or AVM system sensors. The data generated by ultrasonic sensors are used to monitor parking space occupancy. The system has three stages: detection of parking IoT markings, classification of parking IoT occupancy, and tracking of parking IoT markings. The system implements three kinds of sensor nodes. Such as slave nodes or receivers. The system implements three kinds of sensor nodes, such as slave nodes or receivers, master nodes or transmitters, and anchor nodes or repeaters. The slave nodes are placed on parking spaces to detect parking IoT occupancy. The master nodes gather data of slave nodes and transmit data to the cloud. The repeaters are placed strategically inside the parking facility to increase the coverage area. The sensor nodes utilize both wired and wireless connectivity. The smart parking system provides a key-based parking reservation facility, which ensures The smart parking system provides a key-based parking reservation facility, which ensures the allocation of the parking IoT to the correct person. Some smart parking systems also implement optical character recognition to read license plates and facial recognition for the user, which provides two-way security. Other system uses infrared sensors to detect vacant and occupied parking lots. The smart parking system provides a key-based parking reservation facility, which ensures the allocation of the parking lot to the correct person. Some smart parking system also implements optical character recognition to read license plates and facial recognition for the user, which provides two-way security. Other system uses infrared sensor to detect vacant and occupied parking lots. The sensor data are then sent to the cloud via Wi-Fi. Users can easily access the data through a web or mobile application. Then the SS, uh, the SPS uses R, the SPS uses RFID tags for gate management purposes. Moreover, the SPS provides parking reservations, an online payment facility, and vehicle theft protection.
So what's up everyone? So these are mostly used in IoT technology in smart parking. First, on site. First, smart parking maps. The information in the map is prioritized based on usability, giving importance to availability of parking slots, distance and time from current location, parking fare, and available parking facilities. For the ideal functionalities already available on our devices, such as Google Maps, provide us with real-time traffic data and likelihood of parking in these areas. This service and other maps update the information closer we get to our selected destination. Features like Google Maps power guidance to find a car park as well as providing details, live information around hours and availability, tariffs, direction, and distance. Users are able to find parking closest to their desired destination, seamlessly journey from parking lot to the view, and navigate with ease to their destination within the window. Next is smart signage. So, as the idea of Filipino citizens for the country of Philippines, there are many signage procedures like non-verbal and verbal. So, this is just an example that we can call as not that we can call as IoT device, but this is one of the sign that actually used in everyday as a Filipino. So for the very beginning of this study, it talks about the technology. So what is smart signage? So smart technology are also being used in road sign system with the aim of increasing safety and helping to coordinate pedestrian and vehicle traffic more efficiently. Like for example, include like traffic lights and pedestrian crossing that change color right up depending on real time or estimating traffic volume such as peak hours. So third, smart detectors for vehicles. Knowing exactly how many vehicles are located in parking lot in a given time is the basis of smart parking. This car parking monitoring system is made up of sensor systems including door channel lock detectors. Ultrasonic vehicles presence sensor or the LiDAR vehicle sensor. They detect whether the parking space is free or occupied, and they identify if parking garage is full and provide an accurate location of vehicles respectively. So like for example, the light detectors inside the road. If someone passing by, the lights automatically turn on. Last but not the least, of the four mostly used in smart parking in IoT technologies. Aside from smart detectors for vehicles, there's an additional features which can detect parking spots frequency that let the drivers can see how many parking spaces are available with red or green light signs indicating whether the parking space is currently locked or is paid for parking.
Good day. Benefits and purpose of smart parking. First, purpose of smart parking. Smart parking technology that will help optimize parking space usage, improve the efficiency of the parking operations, and help the smoother traffic flow. Smart parking involves the use of low-cost sensors, real-time data, and application that allows users to monitor available and unavailable parking spots. The goal is to automate and decrease time spent manually, searching for the optimal parking floor, spot, and even lot. Smart parking will reduce the surge of traffic on the streets, and being able to accurately direct a driver to an available space reduces CO2 emissions, noise, and other pollutants. Decrease for searching spaces, benefits, and purpose of smart parking. Purpose of smart parking. Smart parking technology that will help optimize parking space usage, improve the efficiency of the parking operations, and will help the smoother traffic flow. Smart parking involves the use of low-cost sensors and real-time data applications that will allow users to monitor available and unavailable parking spots. The goal is to automate that and decrease the time spent manually searching for optimal parking floor, spot, and even lot. Smart parking will reduce surge traffic on the streets, and being able to accurately direct a driver to an available space reduces CO2 emissions, noise, and other pollutants. The purpose of smart parking is to decrease searching for spaces, can reduce accidents by ensuring drivers maintain their attention rather than crossing for spaces or making rush maneuvers. And utilizing smart parking provides you rich data sets that can be used to identify trends, peak times, and other metrics that can be used for forecasting and reporting. Consumption of this fuel. Smart parking solutions is an outcome of humans' innovations, an advanced technology that which not only provides easy access to the parking spots, but also helps in saving valuable resources such as fuel, time, and space. In the urban regions where smart parking solutions are incorporated, drivers are guided straight to empty parking spots. This eliminates the need of driving extra kilometers in order to find empty parking spots. Hence, less fuel is wasted. The smart parking solution, which ultimately saves the drivers money and smoothen their parking costs and time efficient solution. Smart parking technologies have the potential to save both time and money. For drivers, traveling extra kilometers in search of parking increases fuel waste, in which in turn increases the money spent by the drivers on the car's fuel. Smart parking is an IoT device, a based solution equipped with sensors that send data applications about vacant parking spots. The driver use these applications to direct themselves to available parking spaces instead of wasting their time and fuel search of one. This is because when the drivers enter the congested parking area. They spend several minutes in search of parking spot. This ultimately wastes their time, making them frustrated as the driver are not able to reach the desired destination. Minimize the personal carbon footprint. Another benefit of smart parking that that it reduces carbon emissions from vehicle by decreasing the congestion and mobility from of vehicles in search of parking. All fuels such as emissions which adversely impact the environment. Another negative factor of the personal carbon footprint release from vehicles is that it does not directly impact the human life, but it is a potential contributor to climate change. When when smart parking solutions are integrated into urban areas, the release of individual environment footprint, especially the release of the carbon dioxide, is ultimately reduced. When the drivers move from one places to another for parking, this enhances the individual environmental footprint. Nearly 20 minutes are spent by each driver in the USA searching for parking, wasting fuel and time along with creating traffic. Congestions in urban areas, the increased search time increase the emission of carbon footprint. But with the help of smart parking solution, the search time can be minimized. Reduce parking stress. The majority of the people avoid going to congested part of the city is they do not want themselves to get stuck in the parking hassle, which creates stress and anxiety among the drivers. Furthermore, driving around the same street again and again and still not finding a space to park a car is frustrating. Smart parking use solutions are aimed to make parking experience of drivers stress-free. Smart parking applications let the drivers know about the available parking space and in the area where they want to travel. Knowing that you will be spending much time in search of parking, but will still end up parking your car in a space far away from the destination is extremely discouraging. This reduces the unpredictability and stress associated with finding an appropriate parking space near the desired destination. Reduce the search traffic on streets. Smart parking solutions enable municipalities to manage and reduce parking search traffic on streets. This technology also ensures parking safety, but is a major contribution to traffic congestions. Is the factor of making the parking experience faster, more convenient, and hassle-free. Smart parking technologies ensure a reduction in the number of cars circling around the streets for finding a parking spot. Near 30% of traffic in the urban areas is created by parking searches. Smart parking solutions enable municipalities to manage and reduce parking search traffic in the streets. This technology also ensures parking safety, but it is a major contribution to traffic congestions is the factor of making the parking experience faster, more convenient, and hassle-free. Smart parking technologies ensure a reduction in the number of cars circling around the streets, searching for a parking spot. This ultimately smoothens the traffic.
Before we end this case study, there are a lot of IoT technologies that are advantages to our society. Smart parking is one of the important inventions created with the use of smart parking drivers. Save time, money, and effort in searching parking space. So, traffic incidents were reduced like car collision, traffic congestion, fighting over parking spaces, and air pollution. So, we believe that kung cute ka, mag-sign of the cute ka.
Kaya labas